So before you read that title and start getting all upset, let me say, I mean it in the most loving, the most absolutely lovingest way possible. So look at it like this. In life, the life that we all live, the planet we're all on, you have to remember that everyone is only really concerned about themselves. I'm concerned about me. You're concerned about you. The people that you interact with are concerned about them. They're only really concerned about their own existence, as they should be, because that's the only existence that you can see. I only ever know what it's like to be me. You only ever know what it's like to be you. That's kind of how it should be. You don't really have any business being worried about other people in that sense. And I'll explain a little bit more. We're not talking about a selfish kind of thing here. But basically, people outside of your own perception, you are seen as a side character in their life. You can't really change that, and I don't really think that you should, but that's why you really shouldn't be concerned, because no one cares about your existence. They only care about themselves. You can have a meaningful part of their existence. You can be their friend, their lover, their family, but you will never take as much place in their existence as themselves, because that would be impossible. The single most important person in anyone's life will only ever be themselves. You can have people really, 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 really close, but they will never be you. You have to keep your body alive. You have to work. You have to do this. You have to do that. You are always going to be your sole priority when stuff hits the fan, because you're the life that you're living. So, you shouldn't really be concerned about why no one cares about your existence, because that's kind of how it's supposed to be. Now, like I said before, you can exist in someone else's reality, their existence, but also when you're existing in their reality and their existence, their perception of you is also going to be very different, because they're only concerned about themselves, and because they can only see things through their own point of view. They'll never really understand you as deeply as you can understand yourself. So it's like you should really only be concerned about yourself, especially when you're with other people. No one can ever understand you the way you understand you. No one can ever go through your experiences exactly the way that you went through them and understand things from your sole perspective. So, when you're around other people and you feel like you're maybe being misunderstood or you're being judged, you have to recognize people can only see you from their perspective. They'll never know by the time you crashed your bike when you were 8, or that time you got yelled at by your lover and you had a fight. No one can see your entire existence and see piece by piece all of the different memories and interactions and environments that have made you you. They can only see their own existence. Even if they were there for it, they'll still only ever see it from their perspective. It's kind of just something that we have to understand. So I know, like, a pretty major problem for me was, like, I didn't really understand that. I believe that everyone should be able to understand from multiple perspectives, because I don't know, I slightly have the capability. Like, of course, I'm kind of going against what I'm saying, but I do have the ability to really get into another person's shoes and understand if I was this person at this age, at this time, with their experiences, with their life. I can see exactly how they would act and react and make the decisions and choices that they're making now. But I realized that was a unique thing that I had. I have an immense amount of empathy where I can quite literally envision myself into someone else's shoes and their life and see how they came to these choices, whether I agree with them or not. But that's a very rare ability. Not everyone has it, not everyone cares to have it. It's just not something that's very common. So it took me a lot of years to not be resentful or bitter, because, like, how come people can't just understand other people, blah blah blah. And I had to come to grips with it. They just don't have that ability. A lot of people don't have the ability of empathy. It is a given thing that empathy is. It's not something that's, I mean, you can learn empathy, but true empathy, the true ability to see through another person's eyes, I think it's really something that's given by what, I don't know, call it whatever you want, God, source, blah blah blah. But I digress. But what I'm trying to say is that you should really only be concerned about your existence, because no one really cares about you. Not the way that you can care about you. Of course, I'm not saying in some crazy way, you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying no one cares about you. Obviously, you have friends that love you. You have family that love you. You have, lovers or SOs, or, your dog loves you. People love you as much as they can, but no one can ever really love you as much as you love you, which is why you should really only be concerned about your existence personally. You can have as many people around you as you want. At the end of the day, it will always be just you. You can be physically with someone, but they can never be inside your head. They can never be inside your soul, which is why the relationship with yourself is the most important thing that you can ever have. And I'm speaking from experience. I spent so many years wondering why no one cared about me the way I wanted them to, why no one, I don't know, experienced stuff the way I wanted them to see it through my eyes. But I realized all this time the relationship I was looking for in these other people was simply a relationship that I wanted to have with myself. I believe that everyone should see things through my point of view, that people should have more empathy, that people should, be more relatable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But those are all just things that I just wanted to do for myself. I didn't understand that the relationships, the recognition I was looking for in these other people is just simply an energy that I was not providing enough of to myself. That took a very long time to understand, and I really only got that very, very, very recently. And I want other people to go through the same thing. We all live in our individual realities. We all live in our own existence. And if you're not concerned enough about your existence, you can't expect someone else to be as non-concerned as you are. If you feel important, if you feel like you deserve this and you deserve that and et cetera, and you feel like you're, the ish, that will reflect in your life. I'm speaking from experience. When I felt like I wasn't worth a damn, when I felt like no one cared about me, when I felt like I didn't have the things I wanted, when I had that energy, I was just simply reflecting that energy in the people I met, the people I saw. I felt like other people didn't care about me. I felt like other people didn't notice me because I didn't notice myself. It's all just a mirror held back up at you. But another thing, before I go too far off a tangent, is that when people do notice you in their own existence as a character, we'll call you, they only do it for two reasons. Either they want to judge you or they want you to be a part of their reality. It's usually just people judging you. It's not very often people just come up to you randomly. It's like, hey, be a part of my life. You know what I mean? So you have to recognize when people notice you in their reality, it's usually coming from a place of judgment. More than likely, they are meeting you for the first time, or they're seeing you out in public and you'll probably never see them again. People are just going to do a quick glance at you and just judge you based off your physical appearance or maybe an action or whatever. No one's really looking at you and seeing the whole picture, the whole book that you are. They're only really taking a 5-second glance, looking at you, making their judgment, and then going on from there. And that's why I'm saying that no one cares about your existence. Your existence is so much bigger than a 5-second glance. We both know this. Your existence is more than the clothes you wear. It's more than your hair. It's more than whatever small moment of interaction that you're having. No one cares about your life. They only care about the moment that you exist in their life, which is why I say, once again, you have to be more concerned about yourself than you are about others. I'm not saying be selfish. I'm not saying go walk around and be an a-hole and don't help people that need help. I'm just saying that you have to put yourself first because that's what you're supposed to do. I know it seems like slightly selfish, but if you know what I mean. There's so many people who prioritize other people's well-being before their own, and that's good and everything. But at the end of the day, is that really something you really want to do? Like, I'm not saying, if your mom is sick, don't take care of her. I'm just saying that in these relationships, in these dynamics that we all have on this planet, very often we find ourselves sacrificing who we are, what we want to be, our own happiness, our own joy, just to please someone else who sees us as a character in their lives. Does that really make a whole lot of sense when you think about it? Personally, I don't think it does, but that's just my own experience. So, when you're interacting with people and you're, coming across them for the first time or even a moment in time and et cetera, and maybe you feel like you're being judged or you are being judged, we can't, allow stuff like that to get to us. We can't allow someone who lacks empathy to make judgments upon someone, ourselves. We can't allow these one-off moments to really hold weight in our lives because they don't know us. They don't know me. They don't know you. They don't know what you had for breakfast yesterday. They don't know, the trials and tribulations that you've gone through. That's why judgment is just, a very poor thing to do in the long run because you really don't know the whole story that you're seeing. You know, it's our duty to ourselves to make sure that the interactions that we have and the people who we're allowing to judge us or hold influence over our existence are people who are going to bring us up, people who will provide constructive criticism, people who will not make judgments on us based in fear. It's very, very, very important that when you're considering the characters you want in your existence, that they're characters that you want there. You know, you have to make sure that you're ensuring that you're the sum of the people you're around. If you question your friends, if you question your family, if you question your lover, if you question your job, you need to challenge these things, no matter how difficult it is, because your existence is your existence. People only care about their own, and you need to care about yours in the most healthy way possible. I know it's a little bit of a tangent. I know it doesn't all the way make sense, but I just felt like I kind of wanted to explain it a little bit the way it was slightly explained to me. I'm still kind of coming to grips with it. Like I said, pretty much everything I talk about here is like through my own experience, but I don't know. I just really wanted to get that out there because I never really saw it like that before. I never really saw it as everyone being, you know, you've heard that term before where everyone is the main character in their own world, but I didn't really understand it until I really kind of sat deeply on it. I was like, oh, wow, you know, that's actually right. That's not a bad thing. We should only be concerned about ourselves, but concern about yourself and selfishness based in fear are not the same thing. It's one thing to be concerned about yourself, to leave a toxic environment that is unhealthy for you. It's another thing to turn your back on situations where you know you probably shouldn't be turning your back on. You probably have the resources to help. It's a very different thing. And I know people probably would have like twisted, like selfishness and self-importance are not, they're not the same thing. Self-importance is making sure that you get what you need regardless of how other people really feel about it in the most healthy way possible. Selfishness is doing things out of fear, doing things out of, you know, that I don't know, that energy of, you know, I'm better than these people and I deserve more than them, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's a very nuanced thing, but if you're watching this video, you more than likely know what I'm talking about. Taking care of yourself, self-importance, making sure that you get what you need is more important than catering to other people who probably don't deserve it and people who really only see you as a side character and don't really care about you. But that's it for this video. I don't want to make it too long. I just kind of wanted to get that out there. It was kind of an interesting idea I had, but that's it. You know, as usual, down in the comments, if you liked it, like the video. If you don't, tell me I'm a crackpot. I love to engage, and I'll see you guys in the next one.